Your body keeps a score, your soul writes a script. That will be the title for today's video right here. Got me thinking a lot when I heard that. I never heard that before, up until a few weeks ago. I've heard the part that your body keeps a score, but the second part of your soul writes a script, it really got me thinking a lot of how I'm living my life, why I'm making decisions in the first place, why I decide to chase one thing instead of the other. Like, why is it, Is it the fact that Jared, this persona, this personality, this worldly kind of idea of who I am, the surface level idea of who I am, is that person who wants certain things, materialistic things or whatever it may be? Or is it something deeper? Is it my soul trying to guide me towards something that it wants, that it yearns for? I don't know, and I think the more I set on this path of discovery, the more I feel like I'm getting closer to those answers of why I want things I want in the first place. And I think when I hear that saying that your body keeps a score, your soul writes a script, it really means to me how if you don't follow the script, because it's like, what comes first, the body or the soul, or is it all connected together? Because to me, I think if you don't follow the scripts, not like a strict script, but like if you don't kind of go on the path that your soul is meant to go on, your body reflects that. It keeps a score. Maybe that's why you feel all stiff in the morning, why your neck is sore, why you got back pain, whatever it may be, because you're not following the script. You're not doing something you should be doing. I do believe that everyone has this inner knowing, this inner guardian, whatever you want to call it, just something more intuitively that they should be listening to. Whether or not they do is entirely up to them. But I think deep down, we're always guided. We always know what we should be doing. If you put a pizza in front of anybody's face, you know that they probably shouldn't be eating that. And I think a lot of people know, they just don't want to listen for whatever reasons. And it's not as simple as just, someone eating it or not eating it because it's unhealthy, but maybe it's something deeper. Maybe it's some sort of response to when they were a child, of dealing with things, or a way to cope with life. And, addiction manifests in different ways. And a lot of people do say that actually if you don't follow this path for your soul and do things that are meaningful and fulfilling for you, that's actually how addiction manifests in the first place, which is very interesting. But overall, I do feel like your body really does tell you the answers, or at least it shows you if you're on the path or not. You know what I mean? And it's really interconnected with the soul. They do say even that when you wake up in the morning, actually, that if certain parts of your body is sore, like your hands, for example, it's a sign of something. It's a sign of your soul trying to communicate with you, which is insanely interesting to hear, because that's such a deep answer for such a surface level idea that many people think of. Oh, my neck is sore because I didn't sleep well, my pillow wasn't comfortable, or I went to bed late. But what if it's a lot deeper than that? I do believe it's always deeper than people think. Not to make things super deep, not to take life so seriously, but sometimes you got to question these things. My motto is not take life seriously, take your health seriously, take your life unseriously. That's my motto that I've been kind of living by the last, little bit. Just decided to adopt that recently, and it's been working out so far. Just like dialing in on my health, and everything else just kind of like going with the flow, going with the wind, going with the waves, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so your body keeps a score and your soul writes a script. And if you could live by that, I do think that you'll live a life that's just more aligned to you, that's just more centered, more grounded, more purpose-driven. And I'm not the one to speak from so much experience, because I'm still working out this equation myself. By no means am I at this point where I'm like so on path with this sort of script that my soul, has for me. But I do think that I'm trending towards the right direction, you could say. People watching this video may be way ahead of me, probably are a lot ahead of me, especially if you're in your, older years in life. If you've been, of course, following what's meant for you. But I just think in today's day and age, people are so distracted and have lost focus, lost complete sense of their purpose in life. And purpose is not number one for them. For a lot of people, it's not even existent, It's like family, maybe health, hopefully health, and maybe religion, but then there's no purpose out of that. And religion has its place. I'm not saying it doesn't, but some people are just giving their life towards something else, but that something else is not their purpose. They may think it's their purpose, but it's not. They're not listening to the whispers of their soul trying to communicate with them, telling them, hey, this is your path. This is not meant for you. You're meant to do this. You're meant to do things that you shouldn't like to do in order to then find things you do like to do, that's actually a very interesting idea of how it's important to constantly surround yourself with things that you don't like, things maybe you actually hate, to be able to then find out, okay, you know what? I like these things. To surround yourself with no's to find your yeses. Because if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So I like that a lot. Because a lot of times we don't know what the hell we want in life, but the more you go after it and just find things you don't like, easier it is to find things you do like. And I've learned that through experience. That I can confirm is definitely true. And that's why you got to just go explore and do more things. Go out and about, try a new hobby, do a new sport, do whatever it is, because that's how to get to know yourself better. And that's how I think to also dive deeper into these answers of who am I really? What is my purpose? What is my calling? And what makes sense for me in this lifetime, in this very lifetime? To not be so clouded with other people's opinions or judgment, and just doing things solely for you is such a powerful way to operate in this world. To doing things just for you. For me, be able to walk around in this neighborhood, pick up my phone and just record and not care who's around, whether it's people walking by, cars driving by, people looking at me. I don't care, because I'm doing this just for me. This feels right. Do things that feel right. Stop over-complicating things. This is advice that I'm telling myself, my past self, my current self especially, of just stop doing things just to please others. And we're so good at just tricking ourselves, where we don't even know what even is ourselves anymore and what we're doing it for. We like to think, oh, we're doing it for myself, when we all know deep down the answer is that we're not doing it for ourselves. Look at people online these days, right? Filming themselves working out, doing what they want to do, having a podcast, making money online, whatever it may be. Yeah, maybe there's a percentage of you that is happy with that for yourself, but overall, you're doing it for other people. Why else would you be documenting your physique and all that? Sure, it's cool to look on every once in a bit, but I just think a lot of people are just doing most things in life for other people. I think it's definitely still a human, not a human need, but it's ingrained in us, I think, in our brains to want to maybe impress others or get the validation of others. Because if you were to go back to hunter and gatherers days, those are the days when that time in history where it would be a tribal, you'd be in a tribe, right? It'd be a tribal mindset, tribal mentality of wanting to connect with others. And, if you're not within that tribe, then you're dying, right? So it's almost a survival need, you could say, of just wanting to constantly make sure that you're feeling a part of the group. And I think social media, this dynamics of social media, it's just one big group you want to be a part of. And with the status, with the hierarchy, these are all things that have been around for millennium, I should say, millennia. But anyways, this video was just about trying to find your purpose, your calling. I didn't go heavily into that really, but I just wanted to touch on this idea of, your soul and listen to the inner whispers to calling, because I've been kind of ignoring that the last little bit, not gonna lie. I felt like I was really just like so in the physical aspect of things, just doing, caught up in the entrepreneurial world, caught up in the things that a lot of 23-year-old guys probably get caught up in, good or bad, without taking a step back and saying, okay, well, let's go back to the simple things. Let's see what we actually want. If this modern world didn't exist in the first place, like what would we want to do, and how could we incorporate the modern world with that? Like how could we have technology play a role in that, AI a role in that? Because they have its place. I'm not saying they don't have their place, but it gets very, the lines get very blurred when you start to incorporate these things into your lifestyle without staying true, staying aligned to who you are. Staying aligned, so important. But anyways, I just wanted to make this video to maybe hopefully inspire some individuals to spend some time with themselves, take some notes, journal a lot, meditate, do what you feel is right. To me right now, that's just simply journaling and making these videos. They actually help me, That's why I make them, to look back on them and to communicate, to articulate my thoughts right now, and kind of just chase those moments where I'm in those flow states. Sometimes it could be talking. Most of the time it's writing, actually. That's my own thing. So find your own thing. Maybe meditating will become my own thing in the future. I don't know. Maybe it's already your thing. You can only answer that. I can't answer that. But if you feel inspired, let me know. And I'll see you in the next one.